Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. With me today is... my computer's freezing. No! My intro's broken. No! With me today is Cyranno the Smith. How are you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself, sir?
Good. I forgot to do this beforehand. What a wonky cartoon episode I'm already running here. I forgot to switch your name. There we go. So, without any further hesitation or any more delays by your host, let's get to the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Let's start off with Stillhead's question. How long have you been playing Amtgard?
A little over a year and a half. Started November 24th of 2019.
Mm-hmm. It's true you did. I went and looked because you told me that the picture of you was like a decade old that I posted for the show.
Dang near, yeah.
I'm like, okay. All right. Well, how long have you been aware of Amtgard?
Oh, geez. Amtgard itself, only about that time. LARP in general, a lot longer. I just didn't know there were more than the Dragon, Dragoneer, and Belgarth, whatever the two are.
Okay. Dega here. Yeah, Dag and Bell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew of them.
Okay. So you've probably, we've been in quarantine for a year, so you've had some time to ponder this one. Can you tell us about your persona?
My persona actually is a blacksmith. More real life than persona than anything, but the character Cyranno is a war refugee. He fled his homelands and wound up living in the mountains with the dwarves and got taught smithing.
All right.
And when that home fell, he traveled to the Highlands.
The Glass Forged Highlands?
The Glass Forged Highlands.
Hey, look at that. We did it. All right. Well, we're going to be spending a significant amount of time talking about your skill as a blacksmith and as a crafter in the game of Amtgard. But let's get through the bare necessities real quick. Which award or achievement would you say that you're most proud of receiving?
I think my Sixth Order of the Owl. Just I built a suit of armor and everybody seemed to glom onto that. Yeah. I loved making it and I love the fact that I got a good reception for it.
Yeah. Darius reached out to me and was like, hey, you need to see this and you also need to do something about it. And we were like, yes, we do. And yes, I will. Very happy about that armor.
It's sitting on a stand probably 20 feet from me.
Well, if we get a break or if the viewers ask, do you think we could get a peek at it real quick?
I can. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So the next question is from Morgan. What is your favorite battle game or type of battle game?
Any battle game where I can use my bow.
Okay. All right. I think that might kind of answer the next question. But what's your favorite class?
Scout. I used to be full-on warrior because I liked it being realistic, but once I got a bow in my hand, it was Scout all the way.
Yeah. Well, it's one of two classes you've taken credits in your time playing Amtgard. You've been a warrior and then Scout, and that's it. I did some homework.
Yeah, I've got a terrible memory for spells, so caster classes just aren't my niche at the moment.
Okay. Well, so Devrick asks a question that goes with the last of the bare necessities here. What's your favorite weapon loadout? So we know that you're an archer in the scout build. So do you take anything else with you?
When I'm fully loaded down, I got throwing knives and a longsword with me usually. Okay.
All right. So Devrick, there you go. If you want to play your scout, which is inferior to druid in every way, there's no questioning it. Devrick, there's a build for you.
I don't know. Scouts and druids should be buddies.
We are. Devrick wants me around. We're a good time. Those were the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Let's get to the three questions KOK viewers have been asking since episode 1. We talked about this off air. 65 weeks in a row, KOK viewers have asked these questions. So Sir Glenolf has received his toaster, or Sir Alucard has his toaster and should have given it to him. The question now is, should Sir Glenolf get a soda maker?
Yeah, give him the soda maker.
All right, there you go. All the way from Arizona, Sir Glenolf, you're getting a soda maker. Morgan would like to know, what's your thoughts on bears?
They're big.
That's fair. They are big. Eliza Joy has a follow-up question for that, though. Who or what's your favorite bear?
Yogi.
Mm.
Gotta go with Yogi.
Okay. Well, Morgan still had Yogi closely resembles what Kodiak's bear would be, so I'm going to take the point for that. Thank you so much. I'll accept the point. Not a big deal. Cyranno, what is your thoughts on Dragon Spine getting a mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
I'm not a water fan. Get yourself a mobile siege engine, man.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess we won't ask if bears can be allowed in the pool since you're not a fan of the water yourself. But hypothetically speaking, how would you fund a mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
Hypothetically, got to go with the weapon raffle, man.
Okay. All right. With all the weapon artisans in Arizona, in Dragonspine in Arizona specifically, we probably could pull off a fully funded pool and or jacuzzi relatively quick. Those were the three questions KOK viewers have been asking since episode 1. Let's get into your stuff, but we're going to start with a carryover question. What is your weirdest flex?
Built my first sword when I was 11.
Okay. All right. Now, are we talking foam LARP sword or physical, I will cut you with a blade sword?
Decorative, made out of aluminum and copper pipe sword.
Okay. All right. All right. That sounds good. Lightning would like to know, what is your favorite garb that you own?
It's gonna sound weird, but I got a pair of boots that are just nice.
Okay.
They're nice. They're just a plain leather boot with lacing up the sides. They're my first LARP boots, and that's my favorite thing so far.
Okay. All right. That's a good answer. Cyranno would be honored to know that you wear boots and when you LARP, because most of us wear sneakers, but good. So let's get into essentially what got you here. And by here, I mean KOK. It's not that big of a deal, but where did you get your love of crafting?
My grandfather, he's an insulator by trade, but he did a lot of carpentry as I was going up, and he had no problem with me going into the shop and messing around.
Okay. All right. The next question here is, you've already mentioned the first weapon that you made. You were 11 when you did it. Can you give us some details and what inspired that creation?
Details of the sword or details of the creation of the sword?
I'm here for the whole thing.
Okay. The inspiration behind it is I was just heavily into action movies. I think Highlander was on my list at that point in time, and I wanted a katana. My grandfather had a piece of aluminum laying around, and I'm like, can I use this? And he didn't tell me no. So I tried my damnedest to make a katana out of it. Got some aluminum pipe, not aluminum pipe, copper pipe for the cross guard and the hilt for it, and wound up taking it, flattening it, actually laminating several pieces of copper together to make the cross guard.
Okay.
Actually, it's not a cross guard, it's a supa. But yeah, just put it all together kind of in a rough fashion and tried to make it look pretty.
Okay. That's legit. Anyone trying to get something out of Highlander, that's legit. Kenjin asked in the chat, but Kenjin, spoilers, it's the next question anyways. What is your favorite build that you've made and your least favorite?
Weapon build or LARP build? or character build.
You know what? Why don't you give me one of each if you can?
Well, I've only done warrior and scout, and I'm scout all the way right now. So warrior's my least at the moment. As for weapon build, I think my favorite weapon build, if we're just sticking with Amped Guard in general, is probably the last rapier I made with all the fancy leaves on the hilt and guard. And my least favorite, probably my first one, which was just a piece of PVC with a flat blade made into it. No
Okay.
guard, just a pommel and a blade.
All right. That makes sense. Your first one being the one that you had the least amount of experience with, and your favorite, your last one, right? Okay.
It's always going to be the last one.
There you go. There you go. Something Kenjin mentioned too in that when being interviewed himself. Question I asked that you didn't get to see: do you do commissions?
If you're in my park or in my area, yes. Right now, I'm having trouble figuring out shipping and billing and all that stuff, so I'm not taking anything from out of town just yet.
Okay. Well, just as a heads up, talk to Darius. Darius was kind enough to send a paper bomb to our queen in an attempted assassination for the rain theme. So maybe he can hook you up with some mailing options. But well, everyone should keep it in mind that if you're traveling there, maybe you could set something up to pick it up there. Eh? Yeah, there it is.
And I've always got a few bills that you can pick up if you don't want a commission.
There you go. Awesome. Love it. Sir Manthex had a carryover question as well. Who is your preferred foam crafter?
Valance Dragonis, I think, is the guy I like the most. He's got a lot of good stuff, quality material. A few people bought some of his accessories, and they're all real nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we had Valance on
Very
here for cool. We had Valance on here a couple weeks ago. It went 3 hours. Lot of crafting advice in there. So awesome. Sir Manthex not only has a carryover question, but then he asked the question again in the chat. He's determined to get this question answered asked to you. All right. V9
okay.
back shields. What do you think?
Only if a scout can carry a bow while wearing the dang thing.
Okay. All right. A little bit of a stipulation there, but not a problem, I don't think. All right.
I don't understand the scouts not being able to carry a shield and a bow. It's like you're not using the shield while you're using the bow.
So I was talking to Sir Francis about this a while ago, actually, not that long ago. But back in the day, archers were allowed to have a bow, swords, and a shield. So at some point, and armor, I believe, if I remember correctly in that conversation. Sir Francis, you can correct me if I'm wrong. So it may have just been part of the nerf of the archers of our game, being archer and scout and assassin and whatnot, that you can't have the shield as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I say let me sling a buckler under my belt, and once my arrows are run out, and I can grab the shield and pull my sword.
All right. Well, Cyranno, we have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
I said I'll drop the bow.
We have a question about some of your kit. Kind of. How do you feel about making arrows? Really?
It's manufacture work. It's probably my least favorite piece of equipment to make. I've done it once. If I ever do it again, I want assistance, and we better be making 100 of them or so, because it ain't worth it otherwise.
Okay. So there is a floor of the number of arrows that are okay to make. You have to make X amount or more.
And it's got to be a group project. One person slogging through it's just a nightmare.
Okay. Well, Glassroach Island, there you go. There's a community event right there. Well, let's all make arrows. It'll be great. Darius would like to know, what foam projects are you currently working on?
It doesn't have any foam on it yet, but it will. It's the third version of my rapier hilt.
You have the second version right there, right? There it is. Deverick, bud, I want you to look at that hilt and yeah. Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. So good. Are you gonna get that detailed with version 3?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'd like to. Just depends on my level of patience once I get down to the detail work.
Sure. Absolutely makes sense. Darius would also like to know, do you have a dream build or project that just may be out of reach right now, but you'd love to do?
Yeah, a set of Brigandine for myself.
Okay. All right. Hey, what I mean, without getting too far into the details, what makes that out of reach right now?
Finances.
Okay. All right.
You know, I want to do a leather facing on the thing, so it's probably $300 worth of leather just for the facing.
Oh boy. Yeah. That. Oh boy. That. No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, no, it's expensive.
Yeah. All right. Last question in this set, and it's from Darius again. Outside of foam and metal crafting, what are your other artistic hobbies?
Current hobbies, that's pretty much it. Past hobbies, I was a sculptor. I dabbled in painting, but I don't like painting. Sorry for all you painters out there. But no, sculpting and woodwork. I like making things out of wood.
Nice.
I got a treasure chest in the living room that I made for my son as a toy chest.
That's awesome. You do have a question here in the chat from Kenjin. He's interested in knowing if if you're using PVC for the structure of the swept hilt.
Yes. This one uses Schedule 40 white standard PVC from the hardware store. This one is the thicker Schedule 80 black PVC. It's because I couldn't find the white in Schedule 80.
Okay.
But it's a good 1/16 of an inch difference in thickness, which adds a lot of strength to the different pieces on the hilt. So I'm going with a thicker material for the third mark and see if that works any better.
All right. Good. Kenjin is asking questions and they're being answered immediately by you. So he is going in the chat being like, and answered. All right, cool. So now let's move on to the next section. It's a little bit more of the game as a whole. Okay. I'm gonna apologize. I have a bag for my wrist for the mouse, but now it's become like a fidget thing for me. I'm sorry. It's not about me though. Cyranno, let's talk about you. A carryover question that Jubei and Ragnarok asked last week is, what is your favorite AMP related memory so far?
I'm gonna go with I think we called it Coronation. The last one I was able to attend, the feast for that. And we had Balder down here, I think his name was.
Yep.
From Dragonspine, and it was just a lot of fun. Everybody was there. I feel really bad that I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was extremely generous, and my son wanted to play with a bow for the first time at Amtgard, and he just literally took the arrows off his belt in the quiver and was like, here you go, you now have arrows.
Sweet. Awesome.
And it's just like everybody there was just so nice, and the camaraderie you feel is can't beat.
Good. No, that's great to hear, because we want to have that atmosphere all the time. And if anyone in the chat can name the name for us, by all means, let us know so we can get that story told in its fullness.
He was in a blue and white tabard.
A blue and white tabard archer or scout.
Large dude. I think his hair was a reddish brown and just big guy, friendly as all get out.
Hmm. Interesting. Mystery person. All right. Well, until we get it solved, let's push on. Kenjin had a carryover question. What does your perfect Amp-Guard event look like?
At the moment, I just want enough people to get siege weapons on the field.
Oh, God. Okay. All right.
I want to build a siege weapon.
I've never seen a siege weapon on a field ever.
We get enough people together and I've got enough time to prep it and enough money. I want to build a trebuchet or a ballista.
Nice. I want to see how that would work in Amgard. That's very interesting. I also want to have more castle events. There was stories that were being told from other KOK interviewees that they legitimately got to play in castles.
That would be awesome.
That would be epic, right?
That would be the perfect situation for a siege weapon.
Yeah. And I don't want to spoil Zachary telling the story here, but he's getting some land. So I'm going to convince Zachary, who's a Dragon's Fire Las Cruces player, that we got to build a real castle on his property so that we can have an event with a real castle. Zachary, if you're listening, a real castle is what I'm saying. All right.
You'll get all the groups coming down there just to play in that thing.
Fingers crossed. I love when people come visit. Cato has a carryover question, and this is a philosophical one. To flurb or not to flurb?
Since I have no idea what that means, I'm going to go to.
Oh, all right. So flurbing, so to not to flurb would be to go to Amgard and just fight and not really care about your persona or character building or role play or anything like that. A flurb goes to park and they're in character and they care about how their persona is built and how their character is seen by the rest of the people playing.
Gotcha. You know, everybody's got their own style. Some people like just the combat. Some people like the full thing. And I say don't knock it if they're doing it.
Okay, sure, that's fine. I'm a flurb, so I like flurb. I push as a kingdom champion, as a local monarch, as a kingdom monarch. Character backstories, RP, tell us about who your character is a big deal for me. So, but you're right, we shouldn't push people to do things they don't want to do. But another carryover question, and it's one of my favorites, and I think you might have an opinion on this that was built in with another question. If you could create a ladder award that doesn't already exist, what would it be for, and what would you name it?
A lateral award?
Yes. So ladder awards are the awards that can get you to knighthood.
I don't know. A lot of people build with foam. Not many people that I've seen build with metal. There should be a higher level of art award that's specifically for building, I would say, functional equipment.
Oh, okay.
Because
right.
Some guy out there might have a forge, might have the urge to build an actual Dane axe or spend a month and a half pounding out a breastplate out of steel. That's a little bit more than just, artistically throwing together a breastplate out of foam, or in the case of one guy I knew back in California, a suit of samurai armor using barrels, the plastic barrels.
Yeah.
Looked like the real stuff, but it was made out of plastic.
Interesting. Well, the reason why I knew that you had something to say about the foam and metal stuff is because Darius has another question. Darius wants to know, what armor or weapon rule would you change in Amgard?
There's a couple.
Okay.
We've got some of the safest weapons in our group, but in the search for realism with the weapons, the thickness of the padding on either side of the core I would probably reduce down to 1/4 of an inch instead of the 1/2 inch courtesy padding, because there's not a lot of times where I smack someone with the flat of my blade.
Sure.
And if you're using the right foam, you can't fill the core through it anyways. I got a couple of them built for Belgarth and the other group that they only have 1/4 inch of padding, and if it weren't for the tip and the fact that they weren't cloth covered, they would have let them on the field because you couldn't fill the core. The other one is the width of the blade.
Okay.
We allow 2 inches for pommels and guards. The likelihood of you sticking someone with that is lower, yes, but at the same time, I can make a much more sleek blade with just 2 inches on the width. And if you're using that would actually negate the 1 inch padding though. So I don't know if that one would stand. There's some concession with that. If you could get it down to using a 1/4 inch core with the 1 inch padding on either side, that's still 1.25 inches of foam you're dealing with. But that wouldn't, or 2.25, sorry. That would make the blade a little bit sleeker.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you could change one rule right now, what would it be? So you mentioned a couple of different things you'd like to see changed. I'm presenting you could change one. Which one is first?
Plasti dip blades. The cloth covering's nice, but I would love to get a latex or plasti dip blade on the field.
Okay. All right. So you went off script. You didn't go off any of the things you mentioned, and you're like, plasti dip. That's the answer. That's the one.
The thing is, I like making fancy stuff, and having more fancy stuff on the field, the fancier the better. I just think it increases the immersion. And if I could walk around with something that looks like it could potentially actually be steel, that would be pleasurable to me.
All right. Yeah.
Even that squishy foam.
That makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. All right. We're in the home stretch here before we get to the most serious of questions. We call those the funny ones.
Okay.
Are you in any households or fighting companies?
No.
Oh, interesting. Kenjin, you were talking about a craftsman household. Cyranno is not in anything. I think Kenjin should probably start talking to Cyranno. I said what I said. All right. What kind of awards or titles are you interested in receiving?
I'm aiming for Dragon Knight. I want to get my owls in there.
Okay. So you're Serpent Knight. All right.
Serpent, not Dragon Knight. Yeah,
sure.
thank
you. Not a problem. This seems to be a pretty popular thing coming out of Arizona right now. We have a plethora of owl-based Serpent Knight qualified people or qualifying people. So that's very interesting.
Out here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been playing for a short period of time. You live in Prescott Valley, which is in the middle of nowhere. No offense. Who's the most influential knight that you've ever met?
Well, considering he had a white phoenix on his tabard, I'm going to say the guy who gave my kid the arrows that I can't remember the name of.
Oh goodness, folks! The person that we cannot identify was a knight, played archer of some variety, and had short. Was it Sir Francis? Was he a skinny guy with glasses?
He was a heavier set guy with glasses at the time.
Heavier set guy with glasses. Man, KOK viewers, if you know who this mysterious person is, please reach out. Unsolved Mysteries is on right now. We don't know who this.
Really bad for not remembering the guy's name.
A white? Huh. That's interesting. Hopefully, before this episode's over, we'll have some insight to who that was. But you've mentioned that you want to become a Serpent Knight. You have 6 owls and 6 dragons currently. You haven't been awarded anything yet for the second phase of your sword. I already spoiled that I have you on my list. But is there any other knighthoods that you would be interested in? Are you into leadership? Are you into service? Fighting?
I am not a leader. Don't let me be a leader. Um, uh, I'm not really a fighter either. So my niche is art, making things.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm focused at the moment.
All right. The question then arises, are you belted to anyone? Have you been in a belt line? Are you looking for a belt line?
Uh, I'm not belted. I have no idea if I'm interested. Never been brought up because we don't have any knights in the area.
All right. All right. That's another thing that the last year has given us an opportunity to do is have some of our Arizona players interact with some of our New Mexico players. And since Arizona doesn't have a knight in Dragonspine right now, there's been some beltings that have came along from that. But I'm gonna start putting feelers out because I know someone who might be coming up for knighthood relatively quickly that lives in Arizona. I don't know if anyone else knows him. He's asked a couple of questions today. Anyways, Cyranno, what is your opinions on paladin or anti-paladin? Do you hold a position? Do you want them opened?
I like the fact that they're reserved for people who are belted, are knights.
Mhm.
I almost feel like there should be more than just those two, though.
Ooh, controversial. Okay.
Well, yeah, they're warrior classes mostly, but they do have magic abilities. But I'm partial to the bow. There needs to be a rogue thrown in there somewhere.
All right. Okay. All right. And what about you yourself? Would you consider yourself to be more of a paladin or more of an anti-paladin?
Probably a paladin. Right is right.
There we go. Okay. All right. So we are now at the toughest questions. I label them funny, but they are the most intense.
Okay.
Stillhead starts with, what is the best kind of dragon?
Best kind of dragon. Anybody read the Wheel of Time series?
I'm sure some of the viewers have, yeah.
Got to go with the dragon in that.
Okay. All right. Did the Dragon the Wheel of Time series have a color or?
No, the Dragon the Wheel of Time series is actually a character. He's a human. He's just called the dragon.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he wields a sort of magic power that allows him to do a bunch of crazy stuff, but he basically saves the world.
Nice. Okay.
Even though he's going mad.
All right. So then the next question that ties into a little bit. What's your favorite fictional knight?
You got to go with Arthur.
Okay.
If we're going knights, you got to go Arthur.
All right.
He's like a first medieval style movie I saw that got me obsessed with weapons and armor was Excalibur. So hands down.
Okay. All right. So now that you've mentioned a sword, Zachary has a question here. What's the best fictional or non-fictional named sword?
I'm gonna jump here and go with the Masamune.
All right. A little bit.
Both fictional and non-fictional. The smith actually existed, and there are swords labeled with his title on it.
All right. All right. There we go. We're a little bit of history lesson for anyone paying attention. Do you play Magic the Gathering?
No, did at one point in time, but never locked me down.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite color?
I'm torn between blue and green.
A blue green. All right. Little aquamarine.
No, either blue or green.
Oh, come on.
Fine, we're gonna go with green.
Okay. Fine.
Green.
Make me decide. Okay. So still had this question months ago, but I've kept it on here just to ask. Is Kodiak more of a Jedi or a Sith?
I don't know if we're playing off the bear. idea. He's got to go Jedi because they don't seem evil.
There we go. See, I'm gray is the correct answer, but that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. We'll
Still never presents the gray option, which is the only option. So who would play you in a live action Amtgard movie?
Play me.
Yep. Well, play Cyranno.
Joke answer, Joe Pesci. I got told I looked like him all throughout high school for some bloody reason. More serious answer, but still sort of a joke, Seth Rogen.
Seth, all right. Hey, with the list of people that have been brought up for this answer, this movie would be legit. Yang, if you're listening to this when you're editing these, bud, if you can figure out all of the people who have been listed, I will give you 5 bonus points. They're made up, they don't matter, but I'm just interested to see who would be in this movie so far. So when Seth Rogen's playing you and he enters the scene for the first time, what's the theme song?
Mr. Blue Sky. Got to go ELO.
Okay. Alternate universe. You're no longer in this Amtgard movie. You're in a movie where you have superpowers. What are your superpowers?
Well, everybody's going to say flying. I say invisibility and super strength, though.
Okay.
I don't need to fly.
I would say mind reading, but whatever. That's sure.
You know how many problems are going to be caused by you knowing what everybody around you's thinking at any given time?
But if you can control whether you're getting it or not, and you can tap into that is a way for you to avoid so much conflict. You can be like, all right, what are they really thinking? And then you can, whatever. It's mind
There's
reading.
got to be a double-edged sword here, though. If you've got mind reading, I don't believe you should be able to shut it off. It's just everything all the time.
Ooh, so you believe that superpowers have to have a knockback?
Well, if you look at the history of any superpower you ever gone through, even back to Norse mythology, everybody's got a weakness. Doesn't matter how strong they are. There's some form of weakness.
I mean, I could break the mold, but I understand what you're saying. All right. Still would like to know, what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Favorite conspiracy theory? I don't know. Stonehenge is a spaceship site.
Okay. Yeah. That's an older one too. That one's existed for a minute. So that's cool. All right. Lightning is back with another question. Would you rather adopt 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
Got to go with a horse-sized duck. You could ride it still.
Okay. All right. And then still, of course, has the inverse question there, kind of. Would you rather fight a duck-sized horse or a horse-sized duck?
It's got to be the duck-sized horse because I think the horse-sized duck would be vicious.
So you'll ride it, but you don't want to fight it. Got it.
No.
All right. Cyrano, are birds real?
Yes, birds are real.
Oh, okay. That's new. That's a new piece of information being provided on KOK. Birds are in fact real, without question. All right. Sir Nikolai, Burning Lands would like to know, what are you drinking?
Water.
Water. All right. Okay. Let's see. Sir Smiley would like to know, hot dog, is it a sandwich or a taco?
Well, considering a taco is a sandwich, I'm going to say sandwich.
Oh, let's put this on its head. A taco is also a sandwich. Take that, people. What happens when the bread? It doesn't matter because the taco is a sandwich. I got it. I'm here. I've got it figured out. Would you prefer ice cream or custard?
West Coast ice cream, East Coast custard.
Wow. Okay. How much is too much to spend on breakfast?
Depends on what you're getting. You're getting steak and eggs. $20 sounds reasonable, but if you're getting just eggs and bacon, I wouldn't pay more than 10.
So, but 20, it sounds like you're high end.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
20
for one
bucks.
person.
All right. What's your favorite thing to add to your bowl of yogurt?
I don't normally eat yogurt,
Oh,
but when I do, granola is pretty good.
yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Uh, waffles or pancakes?
Yeah, I got to go with waffles as my son's yelling in the background.
All right. Last three questions and we're done. Cyranno, what is the square root of a bowl of oatmeal?
A piece of pie.
A piece of pie. It was spoon a couple weeks ago. Now it's a piece of pie. I feel like this is an evolving answer. Morgan would like to know if you could meet anyone in history, who would it be and why? Is it Freddie Mercury?
I don't know that I want to be Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
As for who, just give me some random blacksmith during the industrial period.
Okay. All right. Last question. Let me get my breath in. If it takes a chicken and a half, a day and a half to lay an egg and a half, how long would it take a grasshopper with a wooden leg to kick the seed out of a dill pickle?
About 4 hours.
4 hours. There's an actual number there. Cyranno, thank you so much for coming on. If you just bear with me through some announcements and we'll say our goodbyes. Arizona Dragonspine as a whole, there was a cancellation to an event that was going to be happening in Arizona due to the fires in the forest. If you know anyone that's out there that could be at risk, please check in on them. It's very important that everyone is safe during this time. Dragonspine, award recommendations for Mid-Rain are up already. If you have anyone that you're interested in posting awards for, please go do that. We had a great turnout in the last year while I was the Monarch for award recommendations. Please keep that up. Also, Mid-Rain will be at Scorpions Peak. That will be the first weekend in August. Scorpions Peak is in Mesa. Cyranno, I hope to see you there. Let's see. We are in week 8 of the Champions Challenges, the Monarchs Challenges, and the Regions Challenges. Darius, you are kicking butt for the Sand Village all the way. If you haven't joined and still would like to join, go to Discord and pick one of the hidden villages of the Naruto franchise, and you will be brought into a secret chat with those people where you can discuss how you plot to take over the queen. Interesting. Let's see what else is going on. I don't think anything else is going on right now. Unless you're coming to Dragonspine Las Cruces, not this weekend, but next weekend for a invasion. Las Cruces, New Mexico, if anyone's interested. I can't promise that you can sleep at my place, but you should still come. Anyways, Cyranno, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a pleasure. Is there anything that you need to shout out?
No, not that I could think of.
Fantastic. Kenjin, reach out to this man. You need to be in conversations. If you two combined your powers, I think the world might implode, which would be fantastic and fun. Anyways, until next week, this has been Kingdom of Kodiak, and I'm Kodiak. Goodbye.